This is Meredith from the Papery Craftery, and today we're going to do sort of a tool review, sort of a supply review. I'm going to be talking about these die-cut quilling paper strips. And they have a couple different names. You can see flower petal strips or pre-cut strips, but essentially what they are is quilling paper strips that are solid on one side, but then cut on the other end so that when you roll them up, they make like automatic flowers, pretty much. There's a few different kinds I have. I had the fringe ones there. This sort of looks like a little tulip type shape. I keep seeing a bird's beak every time I look at this one, but I guess it also sort of looks like a tulip. Other sort of fluttery, fringy detail there. And then you have some just standard flower petal shapes and the like as well. I will mention this set I have is fairly old. I bought them a number of years ago and reviewed them on my blog, but I have found similar items, so I will put some links in the description box for this video if you are looking at this and say, hey, that's something I want to try. So I will mention that is kind of why mine look a little mangled in some places, because I have had these for a little bit of time. I will also mention one thing is this particular brand that I have isn't available anymore, but I will link to, like I said, some similar things. And this paper is very, very light in weight. It's much lighter than any of my other pre-cut quilling paper that I use or talk about in these videos. So it is very easy to kind of mangle and kind of bend the little cut ends. So again, just bear that in mind. But first I'm just showing the fringed strips here, and I am using a slotted tool. I think that is probably necessary for most of these shapes. This one would probably be the easiest to roll without a slotted tool, with either your needle tool or just your fingers like I'm doing here. The fringed cut is actually the easiest to roll of all of them. It gets a little bit hairy in this video, and you'll see that in a little bit. But you can roll this just like you would roll any other quilling paper. A tight coil works best, so I'm not letting it unravel at all. But I'm just putting some glue on the solid end, and then you can just open up the fringe just like you would if you were cutting the fringe yourself, and then making like the center of a flower or a mum or whatever the case might be. So there you go. The fringe works really, really well. Very fast. Much faster than, say, cutting your own fringe, which I've done videos on that, and I have a lot of feelings about how much I love fringe, but it can be kind of a bear to get that detail on your own. So the fringe works pretty well. Another one that I liked more or less was this petal kind of design. Again, very, very delicate. It does roll fairly easily, but it can go a little bit crooked. That's another thing I noticed. Even on a slotted tool, it's hard to keep the solid side of the strip in line. So I was going fairly crooked on this and just had to say, well, I'll just fix it at the end and hope it all works out. So same thing here. I only rolled up half of strip on this one, but just add a little bit of glue to the solid side. And then because they did end up going crooked for the most part, it can be a little tricky to get it off of your tool. But in a similar way to the fringe, you can kind of separate this, and it does definitely look like a little flower. It's very simple, it's very fast, and you do get some quick detail. So yeah, that turned out sort of cute. There is a similar shape in this other kind of petal here. This is where it starts getting really difficult to roll. You can see how slow I'm going here. I'm really trying to keep everything in line, and those petals, because they're so wide in the middle there, they keep getting caught on each other. It's getting kind of tricky to roll that one. Another one that was a little bit tricky to roll is this heart-shaped one, again because the pieces are so wide. I couldn't even get it to be a tight coil, and I was sort of turning the top of this too and kind of smushing it as I went, because the paper, the petal parts want to stay straight, and you're rolling the bottom and it's getting caught in each other, and it doesn't look terrible when it's done, but I don't know. You tell me. I think it's okay. And then we start getting into the not great versions. And these three just were kind of a miss for me particularly. I don't know. The same situation. It was kind of tricky to turn. Some of these, like this is the green one. The green one, I don't even know what flower this could be. It's maybe you're getting like a tropical vibe from this one. I'm not really sure. Tricky to roll. They get caught as you're rolling. The end product, this one's okay. You know, it's all right. The end product though, I don't know. There's a couple of thoughts here on these little pre-cut, the die cut strips. Is one, you know, is it quilling? Is it a traditional quilling? No, it's not. Is it okay to add some detail? Of course, you can do whatever you want. There's no quilling police that are going to come after you. I especially think the fringe, if you're doing a lot of fringe work and you don't want to cut your own, or you've had bad luck with the fringe machines like I have, this is really great to add maybe just the center of your flower, or just add some quick detail. I would definitely use that for this. You can also buy, if you have like a circuit or Cricut machine, or sorry, that's what they're called, right? Cricut machines. You can buy just the die and cut your own strips if you find a shape that you really like. They do sell those as well. I don't have one of those machines, so I can't speak on the quality of how they work, but I have seen them on different sites as well. So just to recap, pro, you know, some quick detail, especially with the fringe version and maybe even those flower petals. But cons, they're kind of tricky to use, especially some of the wider shapes. And it's not traditional quilling. If that's something that really is important to you, then this might not be something you're interested in. But I'd love to hear if anybody else has tried these strips, or if you're interested in them, or if you have some great ideas about what you could use them for. Please leave a comment, and I will love to hear about your plans. I will also leave links to similar products in my description box of the video if you're interested in checking these out yourself. And I'll also leave a link to my Buy Me a Coffee page if you haven't checked that out. It's a great way to support my channel. In the meantime, thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe so you can be around for the next video. See you then. Bye-bye.